Leo and the Carnival of Lights, the swing that touched the sky. 7-year-old Leo, sitting in the back seat of the car, had his nose pressed against the glass. Despite the condensation on the window, he could see that strange, bright thing appearing on the horizon. This was the place his father had been talking about for days, Wonderland Park. For Leo, park meant that little green space next to their house with one slide and 2 swings. But this didn't look like that kind of park at all. It looked as if someone had gathered all the stars in the sky, put them in a box, and poured them all onto the earth at once. His older sister Mia was sitting in the passenger seat with her headphones on, listening to music, but even she was smiling slightly. His mother turned back from the front seat. "Are you excited, Leo?" "I don't know," Leo whispered. "It's so big, Mum. What if I get lost?" His father winked from the rearview mirror. "Don't worry, Captain. We are your team. Teams never lose each other." When the car entered the massive parking lot, Leo could hear the sound coming from outside. A distant hum, screams of joy, and a mechanical whooshing sound. His heart began to speed up, just like those sounds. When they got out of the car, the first thing that greeted Leo wasn't the sight, but the smell. This smell was a mixture of warm caramel, popcorn, fried dough, and a little bit of machine oil. Strangely, it smelled like the best perfume in the world. The entrance gate was shaped like a giant clown's mouth. Leo hesitated for a moment and held his father's hand tighter. However, once they passed through the turnstile and stepped inside, his fear was replaced by pure awe. Everywhere, absolutely everywhere, was sparkling. Colorful lanterns on tree branches, neon tubes on the walkways, flashing bulbs on vendors' carts. Night seemed to have turned into day, but this was the light of fun, not the sun. An attendant put an orange paper wristband on Leo's wrist. "Have fun, little man," the attendant said. "This wristband is your key. You can enter everywhere with this." Leo looked at his wrist. He felt like a secret agent on a covert mission. "Which one first?" asked Mia. Leo looked around. Some machines were spinning very fast, others were turning people upside down. These were too much for Leo just yet. His eye caught a structure spinning right in the middle of the park, relatively calmer and playing beautiful music, the Grand Carousel. "Let's ride that one," said Leo, pointing with his finger. They got in line. The carousel was so big it was the size of a 2-story house. It didn't just have horses, there were zebras, elephants, swans, and even dragons. They were all going up and down, spinning around mirrored columns. When it was their turn, Leo ran and chose his favorite animal. A snow-white lion with a golden mane. His father sat him on the lion and buckled his belt. "Hold on tight," said his father. "These lions are tame, but be careful anyway." The music started. It was the sound of an old, mechanical organ. Ting-ting-tirating. The lion under Leo rose slowly. Then the floor began to turn. First, he saw his mother and father and waved at them. Then he saw the other side of the park. The wind caressed his face. They sped up a little with each turn, but it wasn't a scary speed. It was like dancing inside a dream. Leo laughed as he held the cold metal on the lion's neck. "I am a lion tamer," he shouted against the wind. When they got off the carousel, Leo was slightly dizzy, but he had a huge smile on his face. Now it's time to gather energy, said his mother. They went to a pink hut. There, a man dipped a stick into a spinning cauldron, and when he pulled it out, a giant pink cloud formed on the stick. Leo took the biggest cotton candy he had ever seen. It was bigger than his own head. He was surprised when he took the first bite. The sugar melted and disappeared in his mouth, leaving only a sweet trace behind. "This is magic food," said Leo. "You eat it, but it vanishes." Walking with pink-stained hands and lips, they saw the lucky ducks stand. Mia said, "Come on, Leo, let's win you a prize." Leo tried to toss the rings in his hand around the necks of the plastic ducks floating in the water. He missed the first two. On the third one, he took a deep breath, closed one eye, and threw it. The ring went loop right around the yellow duck's neck. "Congratulations, sharpshooter," said the vendor, handing Leo a small, green plush alien wearing an astronaut suit. Leo named his toy Ziggy. He wasn't alone in the park anymore. Ziggy was with him too. As they moved deeper into the park, the sounds changed. Screams began to mix with the laughter. These weren't screams of fear, but screams of excitement. In front of them stood the park's most famous ride, the Silver Dragon. This was a small roller coaster built for kids. But to Leo, it looked enormous. The rails twisted, climbed up, and rushed down. As the train passed, it made a whoosh-wind sound. Leo stopped. I don't think I want to ride this," he said. Mia leaned down. "I know it looks scary, Leo. But can I tell you a secret? The most fun things are the ones that look the scariest right before you do them." His father added, "You don't have to, Leo. But if you want to try, I'm right beside you. I won't let go of your hand." Leo looked at the kids screaming as they passed on the rails. When they got off, they were all laughing and shouting, "Again! Again!" Leo looked at his alien, Ziggy, in his hand. If he were an astronaut, he wouldn't be scared, right? He took a deep breath. "Okay," he said. "I'll ride it." When he sat in the train seat, the safety bar locked onto his lap with a click. His father was next to him. Leo held his father's hand so tight that his father's fingers turned a little red. The train moved. It was very slow at first. Click, 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 click. They started climbing the slope. As they climbed, the people below got smaller. Leo's heart was beating in his mouth. "I want to go back," he thought, but it was too late. When they reached the very tip of the hill, the train stopped for a second. There was nothing but emptiness and twisting rails in front of them. And then, the drop. Leo squeezed his eyes shut tight. His stomach felt like it stayed up there while his body went down. The wind roared in his ears. The train banked right, banked left. His father shouted, "Open your eyes, Leo. You're flying." Leo cracked one eye open. The lights were streaming by in lines. The strange tickling sensation of speed had begun to overcome his fear. As they rushed down the second slope, Leo opened his eyes fully and, for the first time in his life, let out that famous amusement park scream, "He." This wasn't a scream of fear. This was a scream of pure victory. When the train stopped, Leo's hair was a mess. His legs were trembling, but he felt like a superhero. Dad, he said breathlessly. I defeated the dragon. They were nearing the end of the night. Leo was starting to get tired. His eyes were getting heavy. His mother said, one last round. A calm goodbye. They all got on the Ferris wheel together. This giant wheel was the tallest ride in the park, but it turned very slowly. Its cabins were glass enclosed and didn't sway. They rose slowly. They passed the level of the carousel. They passed the top of the silver dragon. They passed the tops of the trees. When they reached the very top, the Ferris wheel stopped. Leo looked down and gasped. The entire park was beneath his feet. Thousands of colorful lights, moving people, spinning machines. It was just like a jewelry box. In the distance, other lights of the city were visible. The real stars in the sky and the fake stars below had mixed together. It's so beautiful, whispered Leo. Mia said, look, that's the cotton candy stand we ate at. It looks so tiny. In that moment, suspended in the air inside that small cabin with his family, Leo felt very safe. The noisy and fast world from a moment ago had now turned into a silent and peaceful painting below. When they got off the Ferris wheel, the park's lights had started to dim slowly. The crowd had thinned, and the music volume had lowered. Leo's feet hurt, but it was a good hurt. It was the sweet ache of a child who had played too much and run too much. As they walked toward the exit gate, his father lifted him onto his shoulder. Leo had his alien Ziggy in one hand and a half-eaten bag of popcorn in the other. He rested his head on his father's head. Dad, he said in a sleepy voice. Yes, champion. The silver dragon. It wasn't that scary. His father laughed. I know. You were stronger than it. When they got into the car, Leo struggled even to buckle his seatbelt. His mother covered him with a thin blanket. The car moved. Leo looked out the window one last time. The lights of Wonderland were drifting away, getting smaller. His eyelids grew heavy. He still had the ting-ting music of the carousel in his ear, the taste of cotton candy on his palate, and the pride of defeating the silver dragon in his heart. As the rhythmic shaking of the car carried him to the realm of dreams, Leo smiled to himself. He had so much to tell when he went to school tomorrow. Leo hugged his alien Ziggy and fell into a deep sleep, so the lights could continue in his dreams. The end.